Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Double, and today is a quick run over of a request from a viewer, Jose Ortega. I apologize for taking so long to get to this. About the GX100, everything that I'm doing can be done on the front panel of the GX. I am going to use the software. Everything that I'm doing can be done on the front panel of the GX. What he wants to know is the best way to set up one button press for multiple actions. So in other words, right here I have my patch set up blue. See, right at my foot, right down there. And then it's a kind of gritty, a little gritty, but pretty much clean, you know. We're not going for quality tone today because I'm going to talk with the microphone over the speakers. I will try to turn this level down a little bit here. That's what I'll do. You'll notice when I go just kind of strum, you hear a little, just a touch of space and a kind of broken up sound. Now, one button push makes it red, and you can hear I've brought the delay levels up, so you can hear it panning, and I've also added some gain. And when I turn it off, all of that kind of changes. What have I done exactly? Here's my layout, and you can see when I hit one button, all you really kind of see happening here in the effects section is my X comp goes on, that little blue guy over in the top left quadrant of the screen. You see that, but there's a lot more happening. If we go over here to the control section and we pull up what's happening on this patch, everything that you see with a blue light here, with a little blue button, that's an active assign setting. This means that I have it happening when I do something. What is that something? Well, that's going to be defined over here at our source. So let's talk about current number as a source, because that's what I just demonstrated below. So as you see, there's CC or control commands from a MIDI source. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, that's the EV1 wireless video that I did. I'll put a link up there over on the far side of the screen. We're going to talk about this current number, or really what you can do with any button, whether it's an input that you've created through the control input button section, or if it's any one of the other buttons on the GX100. You can pretty much do this to all of them. Now, I like to use current number to take my current patch and use its number, the current number. So if I'm on patch 1 and I touch button number 1 again, it actually doesn't just reselect the patch, it becomes an assign. So that number 1 in my patch 1 becomes an assign. And I like to save it this way, because then if I take this, if I create a really nice kind of base patch that I like to work with, and I transfer it to another patch location, or another patch location, or a whole different bank, that current number will follow whatever patch I'm assigning it to. So if I move up to bank user 10 and put it at slot 3, so I'm at 10-3 instead of 1-1 like I am right now, that won't matter. Current number will always do the same thing. And it helps to kind of just say, okay, I'm on this patch, now I want more. And that's the way I think of it. And then I hit it again and I want less. Okay, and then I kind of use my other control inputs, like as you see here, CC1, as a dedicated thing, but I can also assign multiple effects or parameter changes to just that one button. What I'd like to do is kind of give a quick demonstration on how to set this up within a patch. I know your assignments are going to look completely different unless you happen to download one of my patches and you're looking at the exact same thing here. Control 4. I have the preamp solo switch, because this is a dual chain path. See, I have 2 amps going. If I assign one solo switch to that maneuver, if I just make one switch move, on one of those amps, then I'm only going to be boosting the 1 amp. You might only want that, but I want both of the amps to kind of follow each other, and it's, you know, it's a nitpicky thing. But that's because I'm running both of them at the same time, and I just want to have control over both of them in that manner. You can do this however you want. You can run this however you want, whatever your current way of running things are. If you're trying to do one button press, I'd like to just talk about current number just to keep it relevant. So right now, if we look here at my source section, everything under source that says current number is what will change when I hit the current number. So overdrive, I have that currently off, and I'm going to get into why in just a second. See, if I turned that on, then when I hit that button, the overdrive would also activate. But I have the pedal state off right now, okay? That has a lot to do with how you're going to set this up too, so we'll get into that towards the very end. Right now I want to show you how I'm kind of doing this. Blue means it's not active, even though we see current number. So let's go down one more. Current number, so this is a complete mess because I have down here on assignment number 7, the preamp solo switch for number 2, and over here at number 2, I have preamp solo switch number 1. We can change all that around. Of course, you can make this whatever you want by hitting edit, and then you come over here to make it anything that you want, okay? So I could have it, instead of being the boost, the volume boost, or the solo switch on and off for the preamp, for it to get louder, for that second amp to get louder, I could turn a shimmer reverb on or something like that. That's not what I'm going to do here. We can go over that in just a second. So I'm going to close that out. So as you can see, current number is currently changing preamp solo switch number 1. Current number is also turning on preamp 2 solo switch, okay? And on this particular patch, I don't have it turning on overdrive. Now, if we go down, like I said, preamp number 1 and preamp number 2 are also listed down here. I have them dedicated so that if I don't want to hit one button and turn on a bunch of things, and I just want to boost the sound that I have, then I use that particular control for input. So that doesn't mean that I can only have preamp 1 assigned to one maneuver. I have preamps 1 solo switch going to a couple of different places. Now it can get, you got to keep track of it in your head because you might boost it, and then when you go and hit the current number, you end up turning it off, right? But then you've turned everything else on. That's what I mean by the state of the effect, or the state of whatever the parameter is that you're working with needs to be saved accordingly, and then alternately you need to set the switch to either activate or deactivate that state or parameter change. It's an on-off with the pedal kind of a thing, but if you save it as already on and you hit it thinking you're going to turn it off, or if you have another button like I'm talking about where you already have turned it on and then you hit the current number, it's going to flip the states. So it's going to turn on, back off for some things if you start separating them. It gets really confusing, I know, but if you stay with me here for a second, hopefully I can explain it a little bit more clearly. So as you see, I have the current number, like I said, at preamp 2. We go down a little bit further, and that's where you saw the compressor coming on and off. I have current number also set to turn the compressor on because its current state is saved as off, okay, right? And then I have current number turning my effect level. So when I have the delay in the clean sound with everything in the normal saved patch state, my delay is actually not even off. The level is just so quiet that you barely hear it. But then when I hit current number, it's bumped up to that 40 there. So when I have current number off, or in its blue state, it's 7, and then when I hit current number, activating my preamp boost, which is why it turns red, I also have it synced to turn my delay level up to 40, and then I have current number. What else on this one? Nothing. Okay, so that's where we're going to get to why I have the overdrive off here. In my send and return loop, of my GX100, I actually have an overdrive pedal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to this number 6 where it says edit. Just it could be whatever number you're going to work with, whatever one you have next. You know, you have 20 different assignments to work with. You can create them and turn them on and off and figure out what works and what doesn't for you. I'm going to go ahead and edit this, and instead of turning my overdrive on or off, I'm going to scroll down here. Let's see. Oh, so I don't have the option that I'm looking for right now. So what I'm going to do, what I really want to do is turn my send and return block on. So here's that right here. I have my send and return block. It wasn't an option because it wasn't there. Okay, so I want to drop it right here in between the foot volume and my amps. So I have a divider before the amps and then the mix right back. So I have it on right now. I don't want it on, so I want to turn my send and return block off at the moment. Okay, you see how I have it off, and that's my blue state of this patch. That's my default state of this patch. And you see right now, if I hit the button, you can see the X comp, and you can hear the delays. And you can hear that it got a little bit louder. And that's the solo boost and the delay parameters changing, and then also the X comp going on or off. So what I want is for this send and return to follow this. Instead of my overdrive in the GX100 turning on or off, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it on this patch. See this? I'm just going to get rid of it. Now I don't even have an overdrive in that patch. And then there's the delay. So you can see when I hit this button, you'll see those parameters change. You see that this right here, this 7, goes up to 40. Drop it back down into its normal state there. So that way I can have the delay on and still kind of have that, you know, that space that the delay provides. What we want to do is get this send and return synced up with my current state of the current number. So I can hear my compressor and I hear everything else happening. So I want to go over here to control, and I'm going to go ahead and we'll do number 4 because it's currently set to something completely different. All right, so we're going to make the target category, in my case, send and return. That activates the loop on the GX100. Target parameter is going to stay on or off. Target minimum will be off. Target maximum will be on. And now this is where you can flip-flop that kind of thing too. And that can get pretty confusing if you start changing that. So I leave this to off and on, and then I just change the state of the pedal. You know what I'm saying? I hope you do. Okay, manual 2, we're going to make current number. So the source, instead of being manual 2, we're going to select current number, just like I did for all the other ones. So, and I'm going to keep this in toggle because I want to touch the button and let go of it, and it's toggled on, and then I want to touch it again and toggle it off, as opposed to momentary where the effect changes will only be made while you're holding that button down. I got too much to think about if this is going to be my lead section of that particular patch, which is how I like to set this up. Now I'm going to activate my send and return to be either on or off. Currently it is off when it's in its current state, which is its basic patch state. When I hit the button, the current number, it will be on, and we're going to toggle them. So I'm going to close that, and now I need to come over here and make sure that I make that blue. Okay, so now that blue just makes the assign active. It didn't hit a foot switch or anything. Okay, see my tone has not changed. So if I go here and go back to the foot switch, so now not only am I getting the compression and this boost in the amps, but I'm also adding my LPD, the Lewis Petro 74 drive. let's say I really like that shimmer. Let's say for this particular patch, I wanted to hit this and also have the shimmer delay come on. Okay, right? So, or my shimmer reverb, whatever my shimmer is, I have one in there. Let's go here. We're going to go again and pick shimmer reverb. We're going to make it current number, target parameter on off. Currently it's off. I'm going to keep it that way. Currently the max is on. I'm going to keep it that way. The state of the pedal is off, right? We see right here that what I'm trying to do is change that. Now immediately, as soon as I set up that assign, it doesn't start doing that. You know what I mean? You have to hit close, and then you have to come over and activate it, okay? So now you can see when I hit it, it's doing it. But when it's not active, it won't be doing it, okay? It won't be activating that effect. So that's the lowdown. That's the basic lowdown on how I use current number to really just, you know, make easy changes with one button. And now you can go into your control expression, and let's say you don't want to do this with current number. You spend all that money on a Boss foot switch and you want it to be control 3, right? So that's where you would do that. You can go there. And let's say we only want it on this particular patch. Then what you would do would then be save that at a new location. Everything that I see that's current number, we're just going to go ahead and make it control 3, right? Close. Anything that's current number, make it control 3. And then as you see, we're slowly and easily just changing up how we want the GX to kind of do what it is that we're telling it to do. So close, and now I have no assignments to the current number. And you can see when I hit the button on the current number, it does nothing. It's not even turning red. It's not making any changes. So what we want to do now is come over here and we want to write. We want to write this patch. I'm currently using U01-1. I'm going to go ahead and put it at a completely different spot. I think in 6 I have a couple of different options which are really fun. Okay, so I'll do that. And now here we are at that patch. And so everything that I just did over on patch 01-1 has actually now is 01-1 is back to the way it was at the beginning of the video. Okay, and 06-2, which is where I am now, is going to have all of those changes. So if I bank back down here to 01 and then go to 1 and then give the software some time to catch up, you can see here I am back doing all of the things that I could do before. Okay, I'm hitting current number and I'm getting my red button when I hit it and then blue when I unhit it, right? So if I go back up to that patch that I just saved it to, 6.2 now, right? If I hit this current number, this is where I've made those changes and nothing's going to happen because I'd have to use this button. Now all those moves are going to happen. So now my control 3 is doing that, as well as whatever I already had assigned to control 3. So I'd have to then look here and make sure it's not doing too many different things. At this point, it probably is. I have control 3 doing a couple of other things. Yeah. So I'm double activating a couple of things. Like I think I'm even turning on gain and that send return block. So I then have to sit down and tweak that a little bit more. I really probably wouldn't do that. I'd probably just go back to the first one and retweak it because I really like using current number, and that's just the way that is. Hopefully this helps you out, Jose, and anybody watching, with the idea of current number and assigning multiple effect switches and parameter changes to just one button push. All right, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Y'all take care. Coffee.